Well, good morning, good evening, good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to Zwift Community Live broadcast of the WTRL Team Time Trial number 146. We are out on the UCI Harrogate reverse course, and it's solo Nathan today as Dave is jet setting off to Austin, Texas. I hear they're doing the Mash It Up series. Go check him out live in person. If you aren't anywhere in that area, you can look that up. I believe that's going to be Garmin Tax putting that on in local bike shops with some awesome King of the Mountain, Queen of the Mountain challenges. He's also posting some cool stuff over on socials, meeting some Zwifters in real life, which is always really cool to see. But we are out on the UCI Harrogate Reverse, and lots and lots of teams showing up. This has been, last week was tons of teams because people were prepping, obviously, for the Zwift Racing League. For the TTT that was in the middle of the season. This week, though, I think we've got numbers again that are pretty good. And number 146, a lot of the riders, I think, will be looking forward to the World Tournament that is coming up in just a couple of weeks. So they're going to be out there practicing for that. Make sure to bring all your chat on in. Chat essentially will be the side commentator today to prod anything and everything when it comes to questions, answers, as well as who you're cheering on out there. Let's go ahead and jump right down into the action, though, as we will jump in with the lattes. If you're unfamiliar with the team time trial, essentially, you've got a whole bunch of riders hanging out in the pens, waiting for their time to go. Teams working together to get the fastest time they possibly can in conjunction with each other, taking polls on the front over and over again as the rest sit in and quote-unquote rest, or at least wait for their turn to pull at a little bit higher wattage, obviously, than those they were sitting in at. We're hearing from John McEwen. They're saying the course is a stinger, but I love watching. This is a tough one. I have done this one once before, and it is definitely one of the harder courses. That is definitely for sure. And lots of climbing out here today on the Harrogate Reverse. You essentially hit a wall of a climb on the reverse KOM. Head downhill into this section that you are seeing here on the other side of the KOM, as you can see in the upper right-hand corner as well with that course profile. But then on over to the fields of the Harrogate course. And then there is the 17% Pot Hill climb that really, I think, is the crux of this TTT that is out here today. And we will be in with the lattes watching them for the mixed / men's race to see how they take that on in just a moment here. And then there's one more climb as you head back on over towards your lap. A little bit of shorter one, takes about 2 minutes or so, maybe even a minute and a half to go over the top before you do head downhill again into the lap / finish banner. One thing I would say about this course out here today is that take the climbs on pretty full gas because you get a lot of rest time, though, as well out on course. So I definitely would not hold back anything on those climbs unless you think you're going to go over to the point that you're going to end up getting dropped. But my opinion on this course is that because of the amount of time that you get to rest on those downhills, specifically what you just saw off of this KOM that we just saw here for the Harrogate course, as well as it's not a KOM, but there's the climb that then ends up being going toward at the back end of the course. You're downhill for quite a long time there too. It's a good minute or more on each one of these. You got plenty of time to relax through those, rest up the legs a little bit, and then take on the rest of the course pretty full on. So definitely treat these a little bit more like intervals, in my opinion, except for maybe this section of course right here. This is going to be the only section of course that I would say when you head out into the fields here, that's really going to be a section where you need to be a little bit more consistent with the wattage, more of a steady high threshold tempo rather than full on interval VO2 or into the red if you do have the graph on at the bottom of the screen. We're getting our first times coming on in here. Zed Sun Mercury with a 9:59 at the 6 kilometer mark. Our splits are going to be at 6 kilometers, 14 kilometers, and 20 kilometers out there today. And looking at so far the times out here today that have been set, we can get an idea of where things are at out there so far. Let's go ahead and do that as it is going to be the NZ Bro Cheese Rollers with the 46.52 so far coming out of Zone 5. That's going to be the Vienna Espressos. The Vienna Frappes, we've got a 48.56 from Raven Bees so far. WMZ Sapphires a little ways back, obviously. Wow, 8 minutes off. So Raven Bees were flying in that Zone 2. That'd be that early morning APAC zone comparable to what the ZRL is up to. NZ Bro Pie Sandwiches with the 51.31 in this crew. So this is Vienna Latte, excuse me, amongst the ladies. And then the HDR Caramellos, who are always great to see out there. 54.06 right now for the Viennas, or what would otherwise be known as the D category riders. Doppio's got the Evo Warriors coming out of Zone 3 with the 38.03 right now as it stands. And then it's going to be Eat Dirt at the top with a 39.15 out of Zone 3 in the Espresso. In the Frappes, Eat Dirt 007. This seems to be the kind of pattern. Dirt tend to take down a lot of the earlier morning zones and then get unseated right around when the Platinum League does head out on course. As you see, Eat Dirt 2, again, 44 minutes flat there. In this category that we're currently looking at right now for the Platinum League, we'll see what these boys and girls can do up against what Eat Dirt set there in the lattes. We will be moving around across all the zones, or all of the categories as best as we possibly can, just as a heads up if you're waiting to see those. Pemby Rhinos there with the 59.24. That's where things are at. Now, as far as course records go, this is where it's at. It is, of course, Sox Rocks WRT with a screaming time of 40 minutes. It was set quite a while ago. Crush Pod and Aeoni and Banditas there in the Vienna Frappe and Vienna Latte, respectively. There, Zed Sun Quasar, 49.43. Innovation Euro Aliens, we'll see if that can get unseated today, 37.29. On the Rivet Hayes, that's actually going to be my team. I might have been a part of that record, actually, there, 38.05. And then Kirchmer Frappe 1. There in the Frappes, Vikings Valhalla, and TT1A1C. It doesn't look like any of these were set throughout the day today, but this is what people have to shoot for when it comes to the course records right now. All right, let's start getting some more of these time splits coming in as we watch the lattes. This is what we were talking about, Potbank. This is a screamer on the legs as we've got Johansson on the front, the Swedish rider here. 178 beats per minute on this 14% gradient, grinding out 10 kilometers per hour right now. And it's starting to split. This is where those crucial moments and questions of the team have to be asked as Tierney pushes 5 watts per kilogram real quickly to latch back on. Now, the question is, can he hold on after that kick, or is it going to be goodbye in just a moment? He's got to come over the top here. It looks like he's got quite a few meters yet to go at that 185 to 184, and that heart rate's not going to be coming down most likely until they crest over the top here. There's some serious suffering with this grind right now at 54 RPM. Tierney, the Irishman, really digging deep to try and keep it 5. Not sure it's going to happen. They might have to say goodbye to him at this point because these 4 will be losing crucial seconds right now if they do wait up. Zedson look like they are going to do just that as Johansson actually going back to give a wheel, I believe. Great to see the tactic here, though, from Zedson and how they're going to ride this out. And look at that coming right on through as they do roll that 3% gradient. Things becoming a little bit easier for them, perhaps. The continuance, though, over sections like this can be real difficult. You do not want to be sitting up as they back off the 2.8 watts per kilogram. I think there's been a little bit of discussion, most likely, in the DS, amongst the DS, or amongst the Discord, about how they're going to take this on to keep it 5. Dropping 1 this early and bringing it to 4 is going to be maybe losing them a little bit of time, or at least a little bit of energy and rest, as that's 30 seconds to a minute that is sacrificed. But can Tierney even take any polls any longer? There's a lot of discussion that ends up happening around this, or at least thinking that needs to happen to figure out what is the best move. And on a course like this, because it is so much about climbing, a lot of times the rest intervals that you're going to get are not going to be quite as crucial as climbing those climbs as fast as you possibly can. So I do think on this course, you will see a lot of sacrificing of riders early on, putting in some big digs, and just making sure that they're giving as much time to the team as they can, and then saying goodbye to the team if they have to because they're unable to hang on to the climbs where the most time can actually be made. Make sure your fastest four make it to the line is most likely what we're going to see from a lot of these teams that are, what I would say, in my opinion, playing it right for the fastest time. Again, a lot of them, though, do hang out specifically with these TTTs in order to do something more of a camaraderie and not just for the win out there always, which is always good to see as well. So moving our way back here to KC, a full 52 seconds now at this point has been lost, or even more actually to this KC team at. So in this latte here, it does look like Zedson are having a really solid ride, but it's going to be ODZ here with Messenger here, going to be most likely catching that KC team as we start to get these splits coming on in. I'm going to take a look at where things are at. ODZ Destroyer Cookies tied up with that Kirchner latte there at the 6K mark, but I think they're closing things down on them on this climbing section as they brought it back to 40-second time gap to them. I have a feeling that 941 is going to change up a lot in just a moment. TFC Lancaster, 939. It's going to be Dirty Rascals Wrath and Alpen Traveler Latte there at a 927. WLBB Latte with a 919. Absolutely flying so far here today. And this is going to be that Alpen Traveler team. Currently sitting in second place. They've got 4 riders left. And again, I think this is going to be the story of the day, everybody. It is a tough course out here where riders are going to get popped off, and it's going to be about survival of the final 4, essentially, each and every time, I think, all day long here today. Really, really tough course. Let me know what you think of the course in chat. I'd love to hear, any opinions about it and how you took on the course. Was it about staying together? Was it about keeping riders? At what point did you say, oh, enough is enough? We need to continue on and sacrifice anybody who is out there that is just unable to hang on to the pace that is being set and get the fastest time you possibly can. What's your take on how to take on the course out there today? Love to hear all about it. As we do see here, and more times coming on through. Race Hub White there, a 1050. Virtuslo Stroh's there with a 922, looking to challenge WLBB at the top. A lot of separation now, though, between these 4. Going to have to get things back together as it looks like Schrodel here is going to have to back on 1.9. 27 kilometers per hour here coming from Schubel, Tom, and then Groff. Complete separation. Tough day, it looks like, here for AVC to keep it together. Here's Dirty Wrath, as they've still got plenty of firepower with them. 6 strong, not the usual at this point that we've seen so far. Ravel Circuit. Damn Humlund is there as well. Is going to be 6 strong solid here with Drew and a few others as they come on through. What's their time here currently? 9:33, 6 seconds up from TFC Lancaster. It looks like they're actually getting now. It can be a little bit deceiving though with the rider nearby list because of Potbank at this section. If we watch them through here, I think a lot of times we will see some pretty big time gap changes. Only 4 riders left here on TVC Lancaster. I believe they only started with 4. So this is going to be a really tough day for them out here. Steps just saying, forget it. Continuing on. 3 watts per kilogram coming from him. Wesley, as well as Mola John Neal here. And then Alex sitting in and trying to pull their way back up to step as the American has said, forget it, I'm going off the front. Now he's backed off a tad here. They're being chased down quickly by this WLBB team, who's having a really solid ride, actually, at the top, 9:19 at that first 6 kilometer marker. So one of the better rides that we've seen from these riders out here today in the latte. Super, super solid. See if we can get some more information on each one of these riders as they make their way through. WLBB, a newer team that we did see show up in this last couple of weeks, and they've just been crushing it here in the latte crew. going to be Necht, Weichert, Gobman, Norman, Berthold, and Wager. Andy Kress is here as well. It looks like all German and Austrian for this WLBB team. Race Hub White there, 1050. Dirty Rascals Fire, I think maybe a no start from them. They were the 12th team to go out, but I'm not getting any splits coming through for them just as of yet. Again, if you're unfamiliar with the team time trial and you've only jumped in with us for the chase race, perhaps, or jumped in with us for some of the ZRL and not really watched any of the TTTs before, these riders will be hanging out in the pens, waiting for their turn to go. Very different than if you just jumped into a regular race out on Zwift and waited for the banner to drop. The cool thing about the way the WTRL has done this is essentially without having the feature in-game, we're able to organize this on their own and track all the times and create it where they give each one of these teams a start time independently of any communications from Zwift, all communicated from WTRL over to the team management. And then the team management lets the rest of the team know, hey, this is our start time. They wait in the pens until it's their turn to go. I mean, it's actually pretty phenomenal that that it actually ends up working out as often as it actually does, and how many results end up coming through, because to get that many people organized, Martin is going to be in my ears here a little bit, and I would love to know for this week how many people had to be organized enough to know exactly what time was their time to go. As we're going to head over to the pens here, as you can see, the open race that we do have on the left-hand side we're watching, and then in the Vienna WTRL Platinum League being the fastest of the fastest each and every week that jump in and all raced each other. They'll be hanging out here. 9:28 to go to the start, as you can see. But when that banner does drop, they do not all take off. And in the old school days of the WTRL TTT, prior to having the locked pens, people would jump into this as thinking it was just some sort of an event that they were going to go race in. And you knew the ones who were not a part of the secret because they would just take off from the pens immediately. And that's why there was always a 1 minute delay. Because anybody who, for any of the teams, because a team wouldn't just go right from the banner drop. There was always at least a 1 minute delay, because those people who would just take off and just start racing couldn't mess anything up, because they obviously had no idea what kind of a race that they were getting themselves involved in. Always was kind of funny to watch in those early days. ODZ Riders, I'm seeing Alex Cornwall coming on in saying, ODZ are all very fast and good looking too. Of course, Alex. I wonder if Alex is a little biased there. Thanks for streaming every week. Of course, Alex. We've been here going on 6 years now, streaming every single week almost. So great to see you hanging out here, and appreciate you taking the time to watch, and let us know who you're fast. Well, of course, it seems like ODZ would be the fastest for you out there. Carson Arvin's in here saying, how cool would it be to have team launch mode like the ITT? Would make organization easier. Massive kudos to Martin and the team for all of their they've huge amounts of hard work, and having number 146 and still a massive numbers here coming on through, obviously remaining extremely popular. One of my favorite things to do each and every week and get the best workout I possibly can. I don't want to do my over-under intervals solo. You essentially get that from doing a TTT. And one of the best fitness gains you can possibly get is definitely from this event. It's essentially an FTP pusher, as you're over FTP over and over again throughout the entirety of the somewhere between 30 to 1 hour effort. Looking here, Cryogen as we move our way back. And it looks like, Martin, we definitely have splits coming on through. As what's happening with, it looks like we got a little bit of an update here. And it is going to be Zedson Mercury with a 9:59, but a 23:45. Their first one's through that 14-kilometer marker. Vikings Valhalla and WLBB tied at 9:19. So that's the battle for first currently. Virtus Slow there with a 9:22, sitting in third place at the 6-kilometer marker. And we were wondering if the Destroyer Cookies here, dropping all the way down to a 941. So they're going to have to ramp things up, maybe looking for negative splits. The team we're looking at right now, Cryogen Emo's in a 927. Lots of ties actually out here today. Things pretty tight. So it's going to be some good racing here within the lattes. Good kick there from Dutton. I'm liking it, what he's doing there, as he looks to pull some orange numbers and get them up to that 57 kilometers per hour as fast as you possibly can. That's exactly what you need on this course. Get that rest in. Once they hit that negative 3% gradient, you definitely want to be in that super tuck and resting up. It looks like a little bit of a struggle to be on board, though, that train. But Schaff is going to do just that and get back on board. Good on him. As we'll start moving across and see how some of our other categories are going. We'll jump on in with the espressos here in just a moment, as I did see that Backpedal have shown up today. They've really been a newer team to be watching out for, in my opinion, as they have been super solid recently and have taken the ZRL by storm in a lot of ways. So good to see Backpedal showing up today as well in with the espressos. I do know that in the Dopios, we have some top talent as well. So we'll be watching out for those times as they do come through. Go ahead and take a look here quickly at the splits across, though. In Dopio right now, an 815 here from the VCR Doggos. Vision have showed up at an 824. It looks like 825, excuse me. Cryogen Gulls at an 824. It's going to be Virtual Hazard and Cycling Power Race Team at an 842. These are going to be the fastest of the fastest in the mix, as it's 1942, 1945, 1956, and Virtual Hazard at a 2006 currently. So, crazy fast time so far. We'll see if we can jump on over to them and see how they're playing. Adam Baker, Dan Netzer, Daniel Pettinger, and Mark Wonderluck are the ones who are riding for Vision out there. They're going to help us get across over to those boys and see what kind of wattage is. Now, if you want, this will give us a good idea of what kind of power needs to be putting out to hang amongst the fastest of the fast out there today. If we can hand on over there. Backpedal, I think, are going to help us out here. This is going to be that C category. The C category is where the espressos hang out. And this is going to be Volkov, Elliott, Dallin, Jackson, Brotherhood, hammering away at 4.7 watts per kilogram currently. Going to need a little bit more of that to challenge the top spots of this Dopio. Wouldn't be surprised if they got a solid time here. They're the first ones to go out. 825 is what they're pulling, it looks like, for this Backpedal team. 956 then there at that 14 kilometer mark. 811, though. Is that actually challenging? It looks like it is. Schmers Frey. This is flying. Solid job. The sixth team to go out on course here at an 8:11, challenging the fastest times that we've had so far out here today. Huge effort here from Smurfs today. We'll see if we can find them out on course and see what they're doing live here in just a moment. Back in with the Vikings. This is going to be the top team actually for Backpedal, as we've got Nick R. Miles here, L. Baxter, number 5, hanging out, 4.6, falling off just a little bit with the TT helmet on a Tron bike. It's going, it's all Trons here, it looks like, for the Backpedal boys. It looks like nice little comment here. Ossiman saying it'd be nice if we improved the pen weighting so there was a clock counting after the 0 countdown and that we didn't have to go into pairing screens so we could turn our legs over. Yeah, I mean, building, it'd be interesting. One thing I think there, OC Simon or Osman, I would say though that would be like a feature build that why don't you just go all the way with it then, right? Like it's kind of like a halfway feature build. And so I think if they're going to include new features specifically around this, they probably would just go all in and build out the features completely, if that were going to be the goal in order to serve team time trialing specifically. But good comment though, and definitely something, to show some support of the team time trial that would be cool to have. I like Espen Hartwig here and his comment. I'm wondering what happened, Espen, that this comment is coming through. It's definitely an interesting one. What was the experience that went down in the team time trial? That the frustration around the T in the team time trial for a few teams perhaps needing to understand what. So most likely speaking to the fact that some of the teams were completely spread out across the map there just a moment ago is most likely what Espen's speaking to. And I recognize the name there. It's been around the team time trial thing and the broadcast for quite a while, I believe. Now 11 watts per kilogram quickly here coming from number 5. I'm going to call him Johnny number 5 for now, for those that know the movie reference, at 157 beats per minute, looking to get the rest of his team up over that 57 kilometers per hour. They're doing just that. Super Tuck's coming right on in, and Backpedal know how to take on this part of the course. They're going to get a little bit of rest up here in just a moment because it is going to be all about Potbank and taking that on pretty full gas in just a second. And Christopher Vale also saying individual, joking up a little bit as, maybe today it does feel a little bit like an individual time trial for some because of the intensity of the climbs out on the Harrogate reverse. Very, very difficult course. If you look in the upper right-hand corner, I mean, it is very lumpy when it comes to this course. This is the UCI Worlds course that was made for specifically in Zwift just a few years back. And definitely one of these courses that is very much splits the pack up amongst who's just got the raw power to take on these punchy climbs. As you can see, 12% gradient here currently for Nick as he takes this on. Miles there now trying to come on through. Move our way back here and see the Vikings trying to close that down as we start to get some splits through. We'll see if they're able to take any of this time back that Backpedal has gotten on them, as it is an 8-second gap from what I can see at the moment. Again, 28-26. The Vikings held there at 28-33. Smurfs Frey still having a really solid ride. 1944, 1942 from VCR Doggos and the Doppio. So obviously they are challenging for one of the fastest times on the day. They could win this outright here. VCRT Doggos maybe going to take the fastest time in the world today. Not sure that is going to go up against, though, the reality of what Innovation Euro Aliens did with that 37:29. We'll be watching, though, 31:49 at the top of your screen right now. Keep an eye on that number as we watch the rest of this Espresso/Doppio crew, because we may see some new records set out here today. Now, I want to give a big shout out to those that do provide some background info on a lot of the teams. And the Vipers, I believe, I'm just going to double check here, gave us a little bit of insider info. We see John, Tom, Reggie, Barrera here, as well as Whitey. Ed off the back now has put his work in. 190 beats per minute here, though. Obviously was just put in a world of trouble over the top of that KOM. And this is going to be Ed Schregel. As the type of racing experience that Ed Schregel has, guess what? It's the weekly TTT. I'm liking it. This is his race experience at 189 beats per minute. He loves to suffer and pull for the Vipers. Great to see, as this is going to be one of the dirt teams. Being told that this guy, he's actually a former rower at school and university, turned to cycling in lockdown because he hates running, then bought a turbo and really enjoyed it, got into Zwift racing this January. This is only his 5th TT. Welcome, Ed Trigal. Great to see you. And about to be caught here. Don't disrupt those boys behind you, but getting an awesome workout, obviously. And welcome to the world of Zwift racing. And obviously getting one of the best workouts he possibly can, hanging out with the dads inside, riding trainers, and the Vipers. I don't know if he gets to be a dirt guy because he's got no kids to speak of. Somehow jumped in here. Wonderful girlfriend Kat will be making delicious dinner while I get to have fun. Haven't managed to fully get out of rowing, he says. Still do the occasional sessions at the university club, even though he's not a student. Helps coach the men's crew. Nice on him. Maybe 22 year fully hang up the oar, but it's unlikely. Well, there's a lot of crossover, obviously, as It is a world champion rower who currently is also the world champion of Zwift on the men's side of things with Jason Osborne. So obviously you're amongst good company there when it comes to rowing and Zwifting. Tom here on the attack. Why don't we talk about Tom Stagg, as he's also the type of racer is ZRL and TTT each week. His in real life experience though is he's an Ironman. So he's done Ironman Nice, he's done London Marathon, and he's done a 24-hour cycle of London to Paris. Obviously a very experienced rider when it comes to distance here. 173 beats per minute coming from him. They are going to be caught, it looks like, by Innovation, looking to try and set some new records perhaps out here. Currently owning the world record. I'm not sure if Innovation's going to make it happen today, but they are on the prowl to try and at least catch the Vipers. But Tom Stagg has got 3 kids, and year at home means Zwift has saved him. Meeting up with his fun fact in human interest is meeting up with fellow Zwifters in real life for a trip out to Gran Canaria soon. Hey, make sure send me a DM. I'd love to hear all about that. Wink, wink there. So we definitely Gran Canaria sounds like a ton of fun. Good on you guys. John Poole is actually the organizer, or at least the guy who sent over the info. So a leader amongst the team, hanging out at 157 beats per minute here currently. And let's see what kind of time these boys are pulling before we get into some more info about the Vipers here in the background. Dirty Vipers here, 28:53. Got to step it up, boys. Innovation Daily Express 28:08 right now, as it's very close with Innovation and that Schmers 3 for maybe even new world record. We'll see what ends up happening there. But his racing experience and expertise is 0 for quick and dirty for EMEA South Division A1. John Poole. He does 2 TTTs each week, also with Dirty Rascals. Yeah, punks always trying to take us down. Oh, it's the Rip Snorters. Maybe not. I don't know. John, are you racing against me when I race with Hayes? I got to know. Let me know afterwards, because I recognize that Rascals. And we're always competing in that last zone of the day. But his in-real-life experience is British Orienteering Squad. As a youngster, enjoyed in-real-life rides with local team Pro Vision. Definitely know of them. And I believe that's going to be hanging out with Cy Bradley, if I'm not incorrect. He's the team manager for Down and Dirty family of teams. Keeps him busy, provides a great support network of like-minded dads inside riding trainers. But we need more Merts, moms inside riding trainers, kids into running more than cycling at the moment. Daughter Eliza came 7th in her inter-school race the other day. Nice job to Eliza. Big shout out to Eliza on her 7th chat. Let's get some congratulations out there for John's daughter Eliza smashing that run. Although she needs to get on the bike. TTT in an early morning zone 1 can cause problems, he says. For his fun fact, wasn't fully awake and accidentally joined another team's Discord channel. It only took him about 10 minutes of wondering why I wasn't getting called to do a turn. Imagine that. You're no coffee, or I don't know, did you have your coffee or your tea and biscuits? Perhaps, Mr. UK? I mean, what's going on there? Get the crumpets going to get you moving, buddy. But I mean, that'd be hilarious. You're sitting in this Discord channel, and why is no one talking to me? When is it my turn? I mean, you've got to really be tired, though. I mean, where is your mind to be like, who are these people, not recognizing the voices? Must have been like out of bed and just jump right on the trainer there, John. But loving the story there. Luke Owen's also out here with us. Is Luke able to make the group, though, at this point? I'm not sure. It looks like he's perhaps been dropped, but a big shout out to him. He's the captain of the EMEL ZR Team Dirt Wolfpack 3. Rides 2 TTTs every week as well. Can hold a decent power for 20 minutes, but only sprint for the ice cream van. He's an Ironman Wales, Ironman Switzerland finisher, raced long distance triathlon until children came along, then switched to cycling and Zwifting. He's got Louie and George, 6 and 4 years old. Keep me and his wife very busy. I can relate. I got 3 boys, buddy. So Luke, shout out to you and the boys. Both are adamant that they are going to win the Tour de France when they're. Oh, I love it. They got to be shouting right now for Dad to get back on those wheels, though. Fun fact on this guy, Luke. He's got a twin sister, Jenna Jones, who is an amazing artist. She tattooed the Dirt Zwift team logo on his shoulder blade recently. Okay, we need this on Instagram. Are you kidding me? This has to be like, I'm bringing this into the broadcast next week. If I mean, come on, send us this picture. Cementing my love of all things Zwift literally onto your shoulder blade, buddy. And what it means to be a part of supportive and fun dirt community. His wife, Ellie, is also a twin, so I think we've done well to only have to each other. Luke, you're awesome, man. I love it. This is some of the best background information I've ever heard. And people, if you want to think, Zwift community and what they're up to is obviously so incredibly important that it is written literally on the skin of some of these Zwifters that are hanging out here. Great to see. These boys are about to finish. Let's get through the rest of this. Whitey is going to be Matthew White. He's holding the solid 5.2 watts per kilogram at 161 beats per minute right now. He does the ZRL and two. Wow, all of these guys are doing 2-team time. I need to get with this program. Obviously, I'm not working hard enough because I'm not doing even maybe one a week, and he's doing 2 of these a week and ZRL. He played Sunday League football for most of his life. He's a similar, well, maybe not rugby. Martin's probably going to get mad at me to even compare football. See, I think football and I think rugby because we have tackle American football, but he's talking about kicking balls around. He's talking about soccer, but just messing with you. Division and Cup wins actually in that league, we're hearing. So good on him. I think we're going to lose these guys for just a second. Apologies, as Backpedal just finished up. We'll get back in with them in just a second as they're about to come across the line. We were actually on Backpedal with a little bit of help from them. We'll get through some more of the information, though, from them as we get back in with Zed's son and then the D category. But Whitey, going to finish up this quickly here. Turned to road cycle when he was 35, never looked back since. Joined VCC November 21, hoping to get involved in TT and possibly some races in 22. So we got one kid, Charlotte, who is 6. Let's see here. This is interesting. There's a huge amount of information here on Whitey. Holy cow. He's all about outdoors, walking, football, especially cycling, gardening, skiing, snowboarding, considering himself a bit of handyman and a knack for plumbing. Although he played football most of the night, not bothered about watching. Great to see. Thanks for all the info there, guys. Guys, we'll have to get back in with you for next week as well. There's so much information coming on through here. Shout out to Jeff Wills as well as Ed Pugh there as well. Jeff is a race cat, won on the road and pro elite mountain biker until 1997. So you were racing mountain bikes, Jeff, before I was even on them or had graduated high school. Holy cow. Races amateur across Europe in 1991. Finisher of Leadville Trail 100. Completed multiple Cola challenges as well as organizer of Canada's leading gravel event, Reggie Rumble. I'm thinking about doing some gravel events there, Jeff. So maybe I need to see what's going on with the Reggie Rumble. Great to see. This is so much information. Huge shout out to you guys. He's also this is one of the craziest ones I've heard. Muffin baking champion in Port Hope with the best banana chocolate chip. Okay, so why are these not in the mail for some of our taste testing here? Are we having competitions around this? I don't understand why we haven't seen these, Jeff. But I think me and Dave are now officially disqualifying you from every TTT until we see muffins in the mail. So, of course, just kidding. But that's one of the most interesting fun facts, actually, I have ever heard on the TTT as of yet today. So great, really, really cool. Appreciate the Vipers and everything that the whole Dirt family do for the world of Zwift racing. This is the first time I actually can get to chat in the last 15 minutes of going through this amazing information that has come through, actually. Dan Pedroza is saying, Karsten and Nathan, is there a skill involved in taking off at the perfect time from the pen for a TTT? Or does the time just begin after you cross through the start banner? Quick here. I actually want to bring in Martin if he wants to give us time. I don't know if he's can do so. Martin, is your I do see your mic is on. I'm gonna just put a little noise gate in there just in case your new found friends to the family are going a little bit wild in the background. It's fine. Don't worry about it, Martin. I'll bring this down just a tad. I've got you, Martin. So
You can hear
question
me?
on. I got you, Martin. Yeah, it's fine if the kiddos in the background start barking. But the Martin Cruz with us, the director, owner over at WTRL, the man behind all things Zwift racing when it comes to premium racing on Zwift, and he will be able to answer your question a lot better than I can. This question that just came through from Dan Pedroza. He's wondering about when does the time actually start, because he wants to know how to interact with that start banner. Like, because with Hayes, we wait until about 3 to 5 seconds and we go 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 go, and we've been fine so far with that. So what's your suggestion there, Martin?
Okay, well, the race timer starts when the banner drops. And the reason that you should then be starting a stopwatch to time the issued start delay. So if you've got a 2 minute start delay, banner drops, you'll start your stopwatch. And then when you see the 2 minutes, your team is going to race out of the pen. What we do know is that trainers have a bit of a lag. And that is why OTR will be starting to power up 3, 4, 5 seconds earlier, so that their power registers with the game and they can get across the line. You're ideally looking to cross that start banner at the end of your start delay. So if you have a 2 minute start delay, you want to be coming through the pen, with a little bit of speed if you want, but you want to be crossing that start line at the 2 minute mark. If you start riding at the 2 minutes, you're losing a little bit of time for your team.
Gotcha. So, but there is a risk there, right? I mean, a little bit of, you don't want to get DQ'd if you're leaving a little bit too early. What's the barrier there?
Correct. So yeah, we have some allowances. We know that trainers sometimes and often magically manage to shoot riders out through the pen when they haven't touched the pedals, or riding backwards, or come out of the pairing screen too early, or whatever technique it is they're using to be able to keep themselves warm before they get going. But usually the way we work is if more than 2 riders cross that start line early, you'll get a penalty, and you'll see that marked off in the results that you've been picked up as a team leaving early, and a penalty may be applied.
Gotcha. So yeah, watch out for that. Thanks a lot for the information there. It's very, very helpful. And this week, do we know what the number counts is this week? I mean, last week we obviously saw a huge amount of riders, getting ready for their ZRL practice. What's the down a little bit this week? Or I mean, I do think some are going to be start thinking about that world tournament though coming up, which there is a lot of excitement about. It seems like.
Yeah, off the top of my head, I don't remember the exact numbers. I seem to recall it was over 1,000 teams last week. This week we're at 896 registered teams,
Yeah,
so a
gotcha.
little bit
So
down.
just a little bit, but mainly I think obviously people were practicing up for that TTT, and a lot of them may be thinking, "Well, I've already done 2, I've already done 1 this week a little bit earlier." But Sox Watch showing up. I mean, lots of them double up, which is awesome, awesome to see, as you did see with that dirt team just a moment ago, as they do. Is there? It seems like there's a lot of riders that do 2 to 3 time trials a day. Like it's just not even enough for them.
Yeah, no, we've got plenty of people who do 2, 3 a day. I think there was a long-standing record of 7 in one day, I believe. And the team and the rider, please forgive me because I do not have your name off the top of my head, but the current record is 9 team time trials on a Thursday by one individual.
For Lion. Oh my god. Like I mean, that is a huge amount of time trials. So
Yeah.
that's the record, everybody. I mean, maybe somebody will try. I mean, I could see somebody like Teppy trying to break it, of course. After you put that information out there, someone's gonna try and break it, as we've got these kinds of individuals in the community, which is pretty awesome. All right, well, that's Martin from WTRL. Thank you, Martin, for the info. As Chad is probably super appreciative of that, and ways to race the TTT out here. We're going to jump into results for the men's racing / mixed racing in just a little bit. Let's go ahead and head on down, though, to the ladies as they're about to finish up their lap number 1. It's going to be Donna Watts here from the Socks for Watts team, with Harriet as well leading them out. Oxley toward the front of the pack. They're about to make their way on over. Oh, actually, they're just coming over the top, actually. of this Potbank Hill. One of the toughest sections, obviously, of the course. Always great kit. Look at how matching this team is. Great job here across pretty well. As they're on the canyons, we do see one here with that Tron bike. Is that going to be Oxley here? No, Sultana at a solid 3 watts per kilogram, 161 beats per minute. Really keeping things together here, Socks for Watts. As Harriet makes her way to the front, this team is looking really organized and solid right now. Ryman here coming out of Germany, taking over that second to last wheel as Oxley slots in at 2.6 and looks to take a little bit of rest. She was on the front just a moment ago. Now drops all the way to the back. She's going to slot in and look for that rest as she gets a solid somewhere between, I would say, 2 minutes to 4 minutes of rest, as depending on what kind of time intervals that they are pulling on the front with. And rolls right on through. She gets a little bit of speed from the rest of the riders with this little bit of a downhill section. Let's go ahead and see if we can find some data for the ladies in the Vienna Latte. And this is going to be Socks for Watts Whatnots that are making their way around course. And they are currently sitting with a 10:24, the fastest time, actually, even though being the first going out, which means they were the slowest coming into the day. Rave Against the Machine with a 10:35. ZR Scott Elba, the 10:38. Very close racing. The separation here between each of these teams, a little bit over 30 seconds total, with the Rockies there currently in 6th at a 10:59. TFC Storm. I wonder if none other than Carissa Min is trying to settle down out on course as we move our way through to Zed Scott. And then it is going to be the Vixens chasing them down. It's going to be Kay, Thomas, Lloyd, Moore, Williams off the back. This is the Storm, though, as they are moving their way up this Potbank Hill. Nathan, only if it's Alp TTT. We're seeing Teppy's actually in chat and letting us know that he's only doing Alp TTT all day long is the only way that's happening. Loving the comment there. If you didn't know, this is the man who got a Tron bike in less than a week. So definitely knows how to climb. Yes, Stephen Harmon, Thiago was riding for the Vipers today. They had finished a little bit too quickly for us to get in with Thiago, but I can talk about Thiago. I'm fine with that. I appreciate you, Stefan. And a shout out to Thiago. Is Thiago Barrera riding for the Vipers? He does the ZRL for the Wheelie Dirt EMEA Division Northwest A1. He does the TTT each week with the Down and Dirty Vipers in the afternoon and Eat Dirt in the morning. So he was actually a part of setting the fastest time earlier this morning. I'm not sure if it's still going to be the fastest time, but let's just double check here and see if that's holding strong. I think it did get unseated, as a lot of zones, especially with this especially with this Platinum League, have gotten out on course. So I believe he's with Eat Dirt 2, if I'm not incorrect, and they are still holding down a solid time so far, as you can see here. With so this is from this morning with Eat Dirt 2. We'll see if they're also able to hold anything down there. Oh, excuse me. Are they Eat Dirt, though? Actually, they were in with the Espressos, though. That's going to be the regular old Eat Dirt. My bad. Here. And they're currently holding down that 5th place. And then he was in with the Vipers as well. And we'll see what kind of time they were able to pull off. So, obviously, Thiago is a very strong rider. Regular racer for the Dirt Daturday Chase race on Saturdays and some other short races during the week. Collegiate swimmer turned triathlete turned Zwifter. Exercise science professor, so he knows what he's talking about when it comes to training. Wife is part of the the Dirt Dogs ZRLD division, world champions. They got 2 girls, 4 and 6 years old. Makes them push harder to relieve the stress. Likes put himself through endurance pain. Have done VF Erstein and recently completed 8 TTTs on number 139. He didn't quite set the new record, as 9, it sounds like, was the record. Thiago, you got to do 2 more, buddy. He's the man. We were just talking about this. Thiago is the man when it comes to setting this new record here. it sounds like. And we're waiting for it. We'll highlight it if you make it happen, Thiago. As it sounds like that's your new accomplishment, as you recently just did 8. Just add 2 more. No big deal, right? That's a huge day of team time trials. But thanks for the shout out about that, Stephen Harmon and the Dirt Crew. TFC Storm still hammering away. The times that they are looking to beat here in this Vienna latte so far on the day. This is all we've got. It's got to be zone 1 and zone 6. 51-31. Vegan Mint there with the 55-10 right now. As the splits do come in, this is where it stands across the board. A Galaxy Supernova Velocity with a 10-11. Coming in the fastest team on the day as they went out the 10th spot. Crush Pod, 10-17. Sox Watts Whatnots, 10-24. Rave Against the Machine with the 10-35. This is where things are at. Aeonian Bellisimas and Evo Comets. Not sure they started on the day. Maybe a no-show. We'll have to wait and see as we wait for some more of our data points to come through. Looking through chat as well here. It looks like Debbie and Shapes hanging out. Great to see you, Debbie, and cheering on Rave out there today. If you haven't done so already and you are hanging out over at Twitch, there is an amazing community of Twitch streamers that is growing day in and day out. What's amazing to me is I'll log in over on Twitch actually and jump out there and notice that there's a new set of streamers every single time at every single time of day almost that I've never seen before. And I just throw each and every single one of them a follow, give them support, chat with them a little bit. I've learned so much about individuals in the community through their new live streams. So make sure I head over there. And Debbie in Shape is definitely one to follow. I usually catch her super late night or super early in the U.S. Central Time. But great to see Debbie in Shape, one of the mainstays of that team Rave, hanging out with us out here today. In the Viennas, I'm wondering where things are at with the espressos. It looks like we're going to have the TSZ cinnamon rolls and BBB out here today. We'll just highlight the times as is right now, as there is only 2 teams jumping in with the Platinum League. But Cinnamon Rolls, Team SZ, always ones to watch out for. This is going to be a very close race between these two, I believe, as we've got a 9:34 and a 9:35. When that 14-kilometer mark clicks through, we'll get a much... Oh, and it looks like, excuse me, perhaps we'll be... the data is jumping around just a little bit here. We'll have to wait for a refresh, and that'll give an idea of what's happening with the rest of the times with delays. 9:32 and a 9:38 actually between these two. As a little bit of a change up there with that 6-kilometer mark. It looks like Toyota Cryo RDT Women 9:28. Crush Pod here 9:33. Crush Pod Spice Frappe 9:47. That is going to be in the Vienna Frappes as they're looking to finish up out on, or probably finish up their second lap, probably starting their second lap out on course. And we'll see if we can jump across to a couple of these other categories as we've highlighted the lattes a little bit so far today. This is going to be the Rave Against the Machine that we are talking about. Daria, Tiffany, Sally, Louise as well. Real quickly here, it is going to be Kat Terleski, I believe, that we're looking at here. This is a name I'm not super familiar with, and maybe a newer to the world of Zwift racing out here today. And Kat, as we wait for a couple of updates here, it is the busiest time of day for the day to be coming through. Level 20 Zwifter out of Canada. So yes, definitely a little bit newer. Started racing, it looks like, back in November 19th of 21. So only a few months underneath her belt. Jumped in even to the Legion LVLA Crit Series, which we did stream. So good to see that. And then looks like the WTRL Team Time Trial started for her just in this past January. So Rave recruitment, then jumped into the chase race. I wouldn't be surprised with what I'm seeing here is a lot of the races that Kat has been jumping into our races that we have been streaming. So good on her. She did start in that zone 10 and now has jumped in with Rave here in the Platinum League at the highest level for these lattes. So great job by Rave here with this recruitment, it looks like, and bringing Kat into the fold. One of the awesome teams. This actually Anna yesterday um, after doing her RaveCon, uh, which is every Sunday. If you guys didn't know, RaveCon happens, and make sure to jump in with that. It is an event that you can get into. I believe it's Sunday, 11 a.m. Central Time. So that would be 5 p.m. UK time, and they do a group ride, course recon with a live Discord with a community member who helps you walk through what the moves are going to be made yet out there. And Anna did a recon with them recently. And one of the things, they're a team that just has started up in the last year. And she was actually surprised by that about Team Rave. But just in this past year, and they love to encourage women's cycling and specifically racing. They're definitely all about racing, which is really cool, I think, about Team Rave and what they do to encourage women to get out there and race with them. And this is exactly what it's all about with what we're seeing here, I think, with Kat and a lot that are on this specific team right here. As I look through the experience of these riders, it's total recruitment space here. It looks like Tiffany here giving a little bit of a dig off the front, though. Nice job. Dropping the rest of the riders, though, Tiffany Colby, as they're probably yelling at her a little bit in the Discord. Where are you going? The rest of us need you here. Level 48 Zwifter, lots of experience, obviously, here coming in for her. I got 5 pages of Zwifting, actually, as she started last December, actually December of 2020 in on the racing over on Zwift Power, and has upgraded through the categories. It looks like getting stronger and stronger as we're seeing probably a half a watt to a full watt per kilogram increase in her abilities from what I'm seeing here. Racing out of that North Division for the Zwift Racing League. As she drops the rest of her team, she maybe needs to buy back off that increase in that FTP just a little bit, at least in the effort right now, as Tiffany looks to be dropping the rest of the Rave against the machine. She's not dealing with the authority. Perfect name here right now for her. Looking Aggie Core saying, yep, it's where I'm getting a lot of my info. I'm new to Zwift. Good to see you there, Aggie Core. And really appreciate you hanging out in the broadcast. And great to see Debbie cheering on all the Rave girls as well over at the Twitch channel. Looking through some more of the chatter coming on through. And it looks like mainly over at Twitch at this point. If you haven't done so, make sure to hit those follow buttons, subscribe, do all those things, like and comment. It helps out a ton with the channel. And make sure to follow on your favorite platform. We are live on Twitch, Twitter, YouTube, as well as Facebook. Crush Pod out here crushing it. This is going to be Crush Pod 2, I believe. 10-17 that they came in through there battling out with the Galaxy Supernova Velocity right now. And here is Velocity chasing hard. They might actually make the catch out here today, and they are absolutely flying. Coming through with that 10-17 and 10-09 battle here between those two teams, but I have a feeling that Galaxy Supernova are doing something extra special on this Climbers Course today, all in green. Karen Racht, it's going to be Boxy Claire, as well as, let's see if we can get all the names absolutely correct here. I do not want to mess up what is obviously a team that is smashing it out here today. As Vassen, that's going to be Fem Vassen coming out of the Netherlands, actually, who's taking over toward the front. They're actually making a catch of, is that going to be one of their teammates? Yeah, that was just off the front, smashing it. It's a little bit too much there. Catching AVC, it looks like, and making their way through them. On the downhill, going to be difficult to make the separation, but once it does come through that lap banner and they start their second lap, most likely figure things out a little bit here amongst the Viennas right now. We're going to move on over to the Vienna Frappes in just a second here and see how things are starting to play out. We've got some Aeonian. We've got the Angles out there, as well as Crush Pod, Herd, Kirchmer Cycling, RCP. Some newer names, actually, that I am really unfamiliar with. And that's always great to see as they jump into this Platinum League. And we really appreciate all the teams that do take the time to specifically jump in with the Platinum League. Kent Velo Girls, a newer team in this Frappe class. And let's see what kind of a time that they're able to be pulling off here. Crush Pod, Cryo RDT, another Crush Pod with that Spice Latte. Rave Honor here as well. Kirchmer Vienna Frappe, and it's going to be Wahoo Lecole Stel, Zedsun Pluto, and the Dutch Diesel Cycling Adam. The Kent Velo girls, though, actually hanging out in the Vienna class. They are, let's see where they're staying in at. Angular Momentum is out here. AVC Mount Version. RC File, Rebelunas, Aeonian Chicas, Crush Pod Cortada. At the top, there's KVG Pink. They're currently sitting at 11-12, 27:06 at 11:12 here. Slowest time so far. We'll see if they can bring some of that back. They were the second to go out. The first to go out, I'm not seeing here quite as of yet. But most of it looks like all of them coming out of Great Britain, actually, all out of the UK, the KVG Pink. And we'll see if we can cut across and actually get some images of those racers here in just a moment. Teppy here giving a little bit of cheer. Good to see Teppy giving cheering there for that Rave on crew. Again, Solo Nathan on the broadcast out here today as Dave is off in Austin, Texas. Make sure to go check out that Tax Garmin Smash It Up series. Take a look at all of the dates for that series. You can go ahead and meet up with Dave in real life as he announces your King of the Mountain Challenge, actually, at local bike shops and venues around the US of A. And this is going to be that KVG Pink. Good to see them jumping in with this Vienna crew. C. Brown on the front here, Ray, Fugard Smith, and then O'Mahony. 5 riders. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 hammering away in this Vienna. I'm going to give them a welcome to Catherine Brown, Helene Fugard, Kate Smith, Sue Mahoney, and Susie Ray. All jumping in. I wonder if they've been racing the ZRL or not. And and they have. It looks like they are in the EMEA West Division 2. And recently jumping into racing, actually. Catherine Brown, a level 25 Zwifter for this KVG Pink. Looks like her first race was December 21st, actually, of 2021. So always great to see, obviously, these newer Zwifters jumping on in as they start their climb up at the top of this Queen of the Mountain for the second time. Helene Fugard also coming, obviously, out of this whole team, actually. I wonder if they know each other in real life, if they're all coming out of the UK. They're all around the same level as well, level 26 out of the United Kingdom. Helene Fugard. She is a little bit more experienced, it looks like, than the rest, or maybe not the rest of the team, but than Catherine Brown here back on October 21st of 2020. So a couple of years or a year and a half underneath her belt of Zwift racing. She actually did the Zwift Racing League mainly all the way back in 2020, actually. It was WTRL Women's EMEA West 1 Division 3. In November 17th of 2020. Great on her to stay with this consistency. Obviously, a mainstay when it comes to racing out on Zwift. I wouldn't be surprised if she was a team leader here. Kate Smith is here as well with us, sitting in third wheel right now, 3.2 watts per kilogram on a newer bike. Would not be surprised one bit if Kate's a newer recruit. Level 11. Right now, she's got, it looks like, the ZRL starting this year on the 11th. She's got 3 of those races underneath her belt. Solid job. She did the TTT this past week. Got some good results, actually, too. She upgraded from a D to a C recently. She took 5th in her first D race and then jumped into that C category. Good job on Kate. She started, looks like, racing out on Zwift on the 30th of November and is leveling up right now. It looks like hanging out with this KVG Pink team as they have a 27.06 sitting in for that 7th place. Oh, Mahoney is here as well. And that's going to be Sue. On a Tron bike, obviously a lot of experience. Well, she went for it. I mean, level 26 and a Tron bike? 60 plus age group. I am loving this. Shout out to Sue, as this is a somebody to be looking up to in the cycling community. Absolutely loving it. She's been out here on Zwift since 2020 as well, back in May. Looks like right around that kickoff of the pandemic time. So maybe pushed her to the indoors of Zwift, perhaps. Total conjecture, but it does look like she's also racing the Zwift Racing League and has been doing the Platinum League. Looks like last week, or no, a couple weeks ago was her first time. Last week, I think, her first time in the Platinum League, from what I can see, but has been doing the WTRL Team Time Trial quite a lot. It looks like almost every week for the last year or so, almost. So obviously, very much a part of this community, and it's great to see Sue smashing the pedals with this UK-based team. Let's go through the whole team. We're not going to miss one of these riders, as we've already gone through most of them here, and it's going to be Susie Ray, also out here today. Susie, nice job as she holds onto the wheel. They're going to have to get across the line with 4. She's level 26 Zwifter, and also one of the more experienced on the team. Been here since 2000. Actually, the most experienced when it comes to time. A veteran of Zwift, you would say, almost, as she has been here since 2019 and a part of the Fearless Beginners Race. Fearless, one of the introductory women's teams, and most likely moved her way over to maybe KVG Pink or a couple of other teams. Who is she racing for? Back in November of 2020, Susie Ray was racing for. We'll see if we can find some information here. Oh, KVG Pink, they've been around for quite a while. My mistake. All the way back then, smashing it. See how they can do this year. Maybe going for those ZRL helmets, perhaps. But big shout out to this team. Loving what they're up to here. And it looks like they have been a lot of the same names that are a part of this TTT group right here are in that November 2020 race, actually, which tells me that this has been a mainstay of community and exercise and working out together indoors. This is really cool to see. I bet you they ride. I don't know. This is just, I'm just assuming a lot, but they probably ride in real life together as well, and then meet up here on Zwift from what we're seeing, being from the same country. So really cool to see. And they're smashing it here, currently holding down to that 7th place. Hopefully a little bit more motivation as we highlight them to get some better times here out there today. Stefan Anderson, nonstop Alp and Ven Top. We're here and here. Stefan, what are we talking about? I want to know what that comment is about there. Hanging out in the chat right now. Let's go ahead and see what's happening across a few of the other categories. We were going to jump on in with this Vienna Frappe Crush Pod 22:57. Is there a faster time than that right now? No, Crush Pod are walking away a little bit with this one, it looks like, out here today. It does look like KVG Pink are being caught by Watt Fabrik as the German team makes their way through. Mira, it looks like Anika. This is a team that's always really strong and ones to watch out for as Carmen leads them out over the top of this climb over toward the Potbank climb in just a moment here. If we can find those riders hanging out in the Vienna Frappes, we will head on over to them here in just a moment. As Kirschmer Cycling, Crush Pod, as well as Team Cryogen, Team Rave, Wahoo Lacole. There's plenty of really strong riders that we do want to jump in with and highlight in there with the Frappes out here today. Watt Fabric, though, getting some good distance. Nice job on them making a clean pass, not making things difficult on anybody out there today. Sometimes those moments can be fairly tricky, and looks like that was dealt with very well out here just now. So Watt Fabric now getting some distance and making that catch, which tells me that they are on for a super awesome time. Molly Hahn, though, for the Rave Yard is going to help us out. And Boodle Doodles here, she is the creator of that, smashing it right now. Not sure if she's live streaming, but she also has a live stream to be watched out for. She's currently riding for the Rave Yard out here. Well, Rave On and Rave Yard. I'm assuming Rave Yard's going to be one of the teams that they're riding for in the ZRL. Lorila's here as well as Kring and Holt. See if we can find more information. Heli Lorila, level 47 Zwifter, and coming out of Finland, obviously. Smashing it over the top of this climb right now. They're about to hit one of the most difficult sections of the course. Walu Cole on the grind here. His bar comes right on through, though. And Rodriguez is here. WLC just smashing through Rave here now as Bar takes over at the front. And WLC, Walu Cole, this is going to be the Walu Cole Stella at 23:59. I believe that's who we're looking at here. They having that good of a ride now. I'm interested to see how their time's going to play out here, because Crush Pod, with the kind of like effort that they're putting out and just smashing the pedals right now, I am surprised at this catch here. 32:21 from Crush Pod coming through. Toyota Cryo DT women there with the 32:39. Walu Cole Stella, this isn't even the fastest time at the 33:07. Crush Pod Spice Frappe only 1 second behind that at the 33:08. Krishma Vienna Frappe there 33:20 right now. And Ravon 33:48 is the time for then. What's Up on Fire 34:41 and Zed Sun. Pluto there 36:20. Looks like Dutch Diesel Cycling. Atomic Spice not showing up on the day for the ladies. Just as today, so it's fine as we it's been a little bit quiet. I think we're about to get perhaps some audio through in just a moment. Maybe not. Doesn't seem like audio from Swift is liking us today, which is fine. As Bar continues, it just seems to be the team leader when it comes to the watts out here today. No, Rodriguez is going to take over here now, 4-6. Just was her turn to pull for a solid 30 seconds or so there. No, Bar again, 4.6 watts per kilogram. She was just waiting up for the rest of the team saying, grab the wheel as she pulls over the top of this climb. I wonder if she's going to give a little kick and continue on, or say, okay, I did my work on that climb. Somebody else take over on the flat. No, pushes now. 5.9 watts per kilogram. This is a monster of a rider here. As Aline Barre out of Germany continues to lead this team. Level 19, a new Zwifter. She did the GCA Cup yesterday, taking third against some of the strongest women that we know out in Zwift, as I know Gabriela Schumann and Maria Marb did that as well yesterday, as that was a climbers course there. They were on UCI World's Harrogate circuit for 2 laps in the other direction of this. So taking third up against the Rose Beast Mode. She went to the line actually with Dana Wagner yesterday, one of the strongest Swifters in amongst the women that we know of. So Aline Barr here, a competitor. Watch out. But got a little bit of taste, though, I think, of what it is in the Premier Division, as Gabriella yesterday in that GCA Cup. If you haven't been checking out some of these other races, GCA Cup definitely a popular one right now. That is happening on Wednesdays. And I know Schumann was jumping out there to get some good climbing work in before next week's Premier Division in Temples and Towers. So definitely something maybe to jump into midweek. But this Aline Barr now jumping in back-to-back racing here for the German rider and leading this crew continually. Now we'll see if she does the same over the top of this Potbank climb now, as the rest of Wahoo Cole look to just be hanging on to the wheel. Mala, here's 7 watt per kilogram kick here from the Finnish rider. Maybe she's going to be the last dig over the 17% gradient for WLC as they take this on right now. This is going to be Sorry, Kamala, and Tepe, you're going to have to correct me because perhaps I'm getting that completely wrong. Very experienced Zwifter. Level 46. Been hanging out on Zwift for 6 pages of racing, actually, all the way back to 2018. So this is actually, out of everybody we've highlighted today, amongst the women, this is one of the longest standing riders, actually, and has made huge strides in the world of Zwift racing. Because back then, the FTPs and efforts that we've seen from her were in the 2 watt per kilogram ranges, and she has made huge strides as she's up into the 3.6 or more as she's hanging out in this Vienna Frappe category right now. Bar now grabbing onto her wheel as they look to make this 4 over the top. Perhaps they may need to let go of Shredderus, as it looks like those precious seconds that they need in order to beat Crush Pod, Spiced Frappe, who are in at a 33.08, might be lost if they wait up at this point. These final climbs are going to tell the story as to whether or not they are able to take down that 3rd place spot and hold on to it. I think Crush Pod and Toyota Cryo RDT are just gone at this point. Probably a little bit too much time to make up, but they can hold on to this 3rd place if they really put a dig in through this last few kilometers. One more climb to go after this one, a steady grind on the flats here in just a moment, and how much speed they take over the top of this section of course is going to be absolutely crucial as Rodriguez here makes her way to the front at 4 watts per kilogram right now. This is going to be Sonia Rodriguez out of the US of A, actually, hanging out with that Aero helmet. She's actually got this really nice setup. This is going to be, at the climbers course, interesting. Some might be using the Tron. I'm all about the Venge with the DT Swiss on almost any TTT, unless we're going up the Alp to Zwift, perhaps. But Sonia Rodriguez, for Lion right now, level 47. Zwifter, it looks like. She's riding for this Wahoo Lacole team. Maybe a recent pickup, not positive. And she's got 7 pages of races. Doesn't go back as far as 2018, but all the way back to 2019. So a long time Zwifter, Zwifting for over 3 years. Great to see here from Rodriguez. Ryan Miller, good to see you. Hashtag free Deadpool. Always great to see you hanging out in the chat. Cassie Webster coming out through saying, wow, Supernova velocity on course to totally smash the course record. Did they actually take down the course record? Is that right? Thank you so much for the comment coming on through, Cassie. Did that happen? Double checking here. We'll have to double check here. We get Onion Banditas. I'm seeing Crush Pod 2. Is this what we'll have to wait and see if they smashed the course record or not. I'm going to double check in with the people over at WTRL, because right now I'm currently seeing it's still hanging out there with Banditas and Crush Pod and Zed Sun Quasar. What's up, Mike Dodd? Good to see you. Sorry is a legend, Tepe. Obviously, she's been around for a while. And as well as Rodriguez here. Now, they're going to have to really ramp it up in the back end of this course, though, if they're going to take down the likes of Crush Pod, because they have been smashing it so far. We're waiting for a few of the updates to come on through on the data side of things. But as they do, we'll get an idea in just a second. The men's race is said and done. Smurfsfrey absolutely dominated. We'll go through all of the results in probably about 10 minutes or so as these ladies finish up out on course here. But taking a look at this, Innovation Euro Aliens, a full 35 seconds or 33 seconds faster than the fastest times we've had so far today, even in the Doppio. So it is a little bit more difficult nowadays to take down some of the records because of the pack dynamics, some would say, and how they've changed. So interesting to know. Still on course. Cassie, thank you so much for that information. I'll try and find them. Again, we did highlight them a little bit earlier in the, I believe it was the Vienna Latte with them. So Cassie, that might be something we want to watch actually with that Supernova Galaxy team if they are just coming to the line. And Vassen's going to help us out here. Galaxy Supernova with the 43.02 current. What are they looking to beat? So I know you keep on bringing this up, but if this is a course winning or world record setting time, 48.03. They've got 5 minutes to get to the line here. They need to climb this full gas. Everything they got. It's fine if it's only 4 to the line. They've got to let somebody go. Let them go at this point. This is a world record on the line right now for Galaxy Supernova. What's the time currently for them out here for the splits? Are they going to win it on the day? Is somebody challenging them still? Is going to be the question. Sox Watts Wadnots were coming through with a 35.25. That's not the fastest time. They've just finished so far. 33.53. They've got also with a full minute over the top of Crush Pod. So Galaxy Supernova are absolutely smashing this. Great job for this team as it's going to be Meskova on the front. Vassen holding on. Karen Vidvracht. We've got Boxy trying to get back on terms now. At this point, they've got a 4-second gap. They need that last rider. They cannot drop the rider here at this point. It's got to be 4 together over the top. Their Discord's got to be going nuts now at this point, saying, hold up. We can't drop anybody. Come across right now. And it's going to be all about whether or not Boxy can close this down. Claire's hanging on the wheel. It's going to have to be a punch over the top here to grab that fourth rider's wheel and get it right up to that 57 kilometers per hour. Again, they're looking to beat 48.03 Crush Pod 2, who is chasing them actually on the day-to-day. That's the crazy thing. Crush Pod 2 are the current world record holders. They're coming in at the last checkpoint at a 35.05, 33.55 currently for Galaxy Supernova Velocity now, and this is a moment in history for this team. Vassen grabs 5 seconds over the top here, but the lady of the Netherlands here, she's just being a rabbit. The carrot is out here, and they need to chase her down. This isn't that necessarily that helpful. Perhaps it'll encourage them on to get a little bit of sprint going, but I think this is said and done for that course record, as Webster has highlighted for us. And they're going to easily come within, I would think. It's still a little bit over a K to go here. And they should be able to cover that well within that 48-minute marker, but I would not be resting up right now at this point. I'd be trying to get to that 57 kilometers per hour as quickly as I possibly can. There it is, 59, super tuck and punch over and over again is going to be what they're going to be needing to do. And Boston back up into that 4 watts per kilogram, trying to encourage her team on to get on this wheel, as it's really all on the line for him. As you see them starting to finish here, as the times came on through at that 20-kilometer marker, that is the last times. And the little red next to the flag there means those are the teams that have finished. And as they make their way through here, 2 minutes to go, and they're going to do it easily. By about 30 seconds, perhaps, if I'm guessing. Still a minute and a half, I think, perhaps, to the line. Claire backing off just a little bit, 2.7 here. Where's the lead out from the rest of the team? They've got 5 left. They're all going to cross together. Good on them. As they look to take these little pulls, little kicks here, really ramping it up. 55 kilometers per hour, 46.30. Minute and a half as to whether or not they're going to set this record. Claire now back to the front, 2.1 watts per kilogram, 27K into this number 146 for the team time trial. Vassen now coming to the front. A little bit of a ramp up now for the woman out of the Netherlands, as she looks to lead her team to a new course record in this Vienna Lattes. Nice job to the Galaxy Supernova Velocity, the fastest team coming in from last week. This is their moment in history. Great job by them, as it's almost a full minute over the top of the rest of these teams out here. Great job with them. We'll jump back on over to the Vienna Frappes with the Rave Yard, as this is going to be Kat leading her team over the top of that climb that we had just seen those riders take on. But the reality is, it looks like they've lost a few riders here. Perhaps they continued on, as we look at Crush Pod about to finish up here. Actually, Crush Pod just finishing up. And it looks like a lot of teams here still looking to make their way through. It looks like I'm wondering if we've lost a couple of the Rave Yard, as we've got Terleski here. Oh, just here as well. Crushpod looks like Verdande. I mean, this is absolute This goes to show what this course can do to the reality of trying to hold things together. I mean, this is such a difficult course. People dropping off like flies left and right here. Evo really able to keep it together out here today with Mallet, Wenz, McNaughty. It looks like Kirby, Douglas, Schrader. Good job on them. As we'll see what kind of time they're able to pull through here for this Evo team. As we're actually in with the lattes though here. Evo Comets 37.46 currently. They were one of the fastest teams coming into this week, though, I believe. So maybe struggling a little bit out here today. Perhaps. And as they make their way through, we'll see if there's any more in the frappes to get a look at here as well. But most of the teams have finished up out here so far. There is one team that I definitely want to still highlight, though, if we can. We'll see if we can find them out here yet. Jump back on over to the Viennas. But most of the teams haven't finished. It'll be tougher to find a lot of them out there yet. As we jump in with ZR Scott, ZR Scott, they are all said and done. It looks like the Betty Squad just coming across RCP, but they're in that Betty Squad kit. Good on them. Nice job. Finishing up their race out here today. And as you can see, everybody cooling down and getting done with their race just now. Starts to become a little bit of a mayhem to find anybody out on course any longer. As mostly it looks like it is the frappes out on course still. Kirsty Little here doing her cool down. Christina King here from the Rave Yard as well. Getting her cool down in. And as we jump around, I think we're going to start heading to our results. As most of the teams, a long day out on course, though, for a lot of these teams, with the amount of climbing that is happening out there today. Definitely always looking to highlight, though, in with the Viennas. There's a couple of teams. Maybe a no-show out here with the Faster After 50 crew, though, today. That was going to try and get a look for them. Always a shout-out to them, as they're a huge help with some of our productions. So shout-out to them and what they are up to. If you haven't done so already, there is if you didn't know, I mean, there's kind of this growing. We did the chase race yesterday with Anna for our coverage of that chase race, and it's definitely this growing population. It's a little bit different than the ZRL as well as the TTT, and kind of a cool little contingent. So in the community, I know a lot of people, though, I mean, that's racing back to back to back, so it makes a lot of sense that we're seeing the ZRL followed up by the chase race, followed up by the TTT, that you get a little bit of different. But it was really fun yesterday. Yesterday, if you haven't checked out the broadcast, I'd highly suggest to see. It was really exciting. The chase of a solo rider up against an entirety of a B and C category field, and how it played out. It was so close in the end. It ended up being a sprint finish. So if you didn't see that from yesterday, definitely it was a highlight for Anna and I. And, it's kind of been this like, will the A category pull this off against these larger numbered categories each and every week? It's been really fun to broadcast those actually with Anna. And there's a lot of strategy behind, as well as community development happening behind that as well. Carson Ivan, who's actually hanging out in the chat, is helping with the Discord that he's sharing up actually out on socials a lot. So check that out, as well as he looks to organize the chase races really well around that noon time. One chase race is more of a community event. 100% Karsten, as he is hanging in there. Dunk McCray, good to see you hanging out as well. lugs that everybody gets a chance to sign. Tim Fulford's hanging out in the broadcast. Good to see. Backpedal smashing it out there today, as well as Wahoo Lacole, Tim. So really cool to see the Wahoo Lacole team, how well that they performed out here today. And we'll have to see if some course records have been set. I do know that one just got taken down. Tim, one of the longest standing team directors hanging out here. Do you notice that the Odd Sox Vienna Frappe winning the overall women's race, beating the Vienna Espresso teams? Did that actually happen? I'll have to double check that. Wow. James Annan, I didn't notice it because we're about to look at the results. Thanks for encouraging me, though, to head on over to the results. Appreciate you very much. New course records. Well, so far for today, a Galaxy Supernova did set one, it looks like. I think everything else has stayed. Maybe that Virtual Slope. The Stroj, that might have been a new course record. Let's go ahead and find out, though, as we head on over to, let's start in with the men's racing, as some of the ladies are still out on course. Evil Warriors throw down a 38.03, followed up by the Cryogen Gulls with a 38.34, 4 seconds back to VCR Doggos in the Platinum League. Vision Hammer out 39.04 for fourth place. It looks like Virto Slow Hazard with a 39.25. Cycling Power Race Team in with sixth place at 40.14. Tim, I see your comment there. We're doing well. Appreciate you. And WLC have some really strong teams. WLC have strong everything right now. That is definitely I would say, the new team on the block in a lot of ways at the top level. Wahoo Lacole are killing it. Smurfs Freight Espresso in with a 38.37 at the top of the leaderboard right now. Jet Racing Team Dymos, 38.49. Coming out of Zone 8, actually. TSC Waffles holding it down in the Platinum League here for third place, 38.57. Roan King Gazelles in Zone 9 in fourth. Innovation Alien Express, 39.07. Then it's going to be Eat Dirt with our man Thiago in for sixth, 39.15. Team CLS Dynamos there for seventh. Vikings Hell in for eighth, 39.41. It's going to be Bath CC Lansdowne in for ninth place, followed up by Backpedal in for 10th at 39.44. And for the Frappes, Dirt Time Chaser Zetas, 39.09 in for that first place there. Out of Zone 10, just finishing actually, 132 back though, so the Dirt Time Chasers flying. It's going to be Valhalla though, Svalin in second place. Vertaslow Siddhartha in for third. ZR Scott Kelpies in fourth there. Eat Dirt 007 shooting in for fifth. Adam Racing Team Atomic in for sixth. TSC Tutti Frutti with the absolutely best on the bike candies. I need some more of those actually. TSC, send them my way. In for seventh. Give me Zed Sun Saturn for eighth there. Garage Pain Chasers in ninth. And Down and Dirty Blackbirds. That's a new dirt team actually, for me at least. Noticing them. Jumping in out of Zone 8 for 10th. In with the lattes. Virtus Slow, that was a new course record. Let's just take a look at this. I want to celebrate that for sure. 43.16. There it is. Lattes. Shout out to Virtus Slow. Great job. They also win on the day, obviously, setting a new course record, but only 17 seconds back. Vikings Valhalla were right there and set an amazing time, being that that's a new world record there for the lattes. Shout out to both of those teams. 44 minutes for Eat Dirt 2 in third place. WLBB Latte for 44.09. Cryogen Emus, solid job there in fifth place there. Followed up by Dirty Rascals Wrath. RR Woolly Rhinos in seventh. Vikings Milner in eighth. Very close racing all right there between fifth all the way to ninth, as Adam Racing Team Isotopes at a 145. Only 25 seconds separating fifth through ninth. TFC Lancaster 216 back for 10th place. TFC Mocha Cakes in for first, followed by RR Smirch and Rhinos in the Mochas in for second. TFC Hurricane in third, 51, 59, 41 seconds back. Adam Racing Team Krypton for fourth place, followed by Zedsun Nebula in fifth, 217 back. WCC Dragons TTT in sixth place. Army Cycling E in seventh. Spooky Blokes DUE in eighth. Bikes France Team Croissants In 9th, Cryogen Snow Geese. They round out your top 10 with a 335 back coming out of zone 8. We'll go ahead and reload this page, and it is going to be Sox Watts Aero Unicorns with the 43.57. TSZ Cinnamon Rolls come on through for second place, followed up by BBB 44.46. NZ Bro Cheese Rollers in for that fourth place. I always like to show off their awesome team logo poster whenever we talk about the cheese rollers. Nice job to them out there today. Share up all your logos posters. We'll try and get them in there if you are highlighted in the results. It looks like Sasquatch Odd Socks, look at that, 43.57 or 43.50 out of zone 10, taking it down. Crush Pod 45.21 131 back to our Cryo DT women there 45.37. I wonder if the Sox Watts Odd Socks can get a little bit of an upgrade perhaps out there. Wahoo Costella, they come through with a 155 back, 45.45. In for fourth, Sisu Bastet in for fifth. Crush Pod Spiced Frappe in sixth. Kirschmer Vienna Frappe in seventh. B2B in eighth. Rave On in ninth, followed up by Coalition Amalthea. That is your top 10 in the women's Vienna Frappe. And in with the Vienna Lattes, Galaxy Supernova setting a new world record, it looks like. Is that right? It is 47.34 and 5:20 there. We go all the way out to that. I like it how specific these records are, and they need to be sometimes. Big shout out to the Galaxy Supernova. Crush Pod 2, a minute 25 back. In for second, we Viking Idun. 158 back there for third. It's going to be Sox for Watts Whatnots in for fourth out of the Platinum League. Adam Racing Team Electrons in fifth. Renegade in for sixth. TFC Storm in seventh. Virtuslow No Doubt in eighth. Hertford Triathlon Club Vixens in ninth. And ZR Scott Elba 50.46 was their time, and they round out the top 10 currently with only a few more zones to go. Last but not least, it's going to be the Kirchmer Team Bees in first for the Viennas in 50.46 time for 2 laps around this UCI Harrogate World's Course in reverse. Watt Fabra Kiss My Back Wheel there in second. I like these team names. They get better. We always say they get better as the lower you go in the categories, and they do not disappoint. Ionian Chicas for that third. Zedsun Quasar in fourth. Close racing, all within 30 seconds there for that top 4, and then it falls back a little bit with Virtuslow Pink there in for fifth, 133 back. NCTC Mares in 140 back, in for sixth. Crush Pod Cortada in seventh. RC Pile Rebelunas in eighth. Angular Velocity in ninth, and Owl.Bike in for 10th place, 235 back. Well, for next week, everybody, we'll see if we got this updated. It looks like we got 147. It's on Sand Sequoias for 42.8 kilometers, 26.2 miles. It's going to be a long race out there today. Sand Sequoia is one of my favorite courses. Actually got a little bit of everything up front with some flat, and over into the dinosaur land you go on Titans Grove. Great course to be doing. Register before 7 p.m. UK time, 1 p.m. Central time next Wednesday. Well, I hope everybody enjoyed the solo Nathan broadcast. We were able to shoot off of chat quite a bit. And if you want more results, information, you want to register for a TTT, you want to check out a ZRL team, results, chase race stuff, duathlon, there's all kinds of stuff. Anything we want to talk about, Martin, let me know in the chat right now if there's anything new to tell everybody about, as I think that's about it. All the results, obviously, throughout the rest of the zones for the day will be over on WTRL.racing. As always, thank you so much to all the racers for showing up. Great job to everybody out there. Thanks for everybody in chat for hanging out and chatting with us and watching the broadcast. Again, follow, subscribe, like, comment, helps the broadcast out a ton. A big shout out to all of you. We've bumped over 11K subs over on YouTube recently. We are over 50,000 on Facebook, and I believe pushing 5K over on Twitch. So we really appreciate that. Always go ahead and tag myself, Dave, Anna, Kate Bates over on Instagram and Twitter. We do our best to interact in all those spaces as well. And we will see you soon. We'll be hanging out with you next week, obviously, in the Zwift Racing League. We'll be watching Premier Division together over on GCN Racing, and then show up for It's going to be Temples and Towers. This is going to be an awesome climbing race. I think the second half of the ZRL season is really going to shake things up. Totally different types of racing and courses. One of our best seasons yet. I'm really enjoying what we're seeing from all the teams. And as always, everybody, WTRL.racing, and we'll see ya. Right on.